This is Intoxicated Literature.
Hello, and welcome to Intoxicated Literature. I am Daniella Drake.
And I am Evelyne Crow.
And tonight we will be discussing Return to Hoodoo by Reggi Dupree.
I have heard about this book a lot, actually, on TikTok. It's been all over my feed for years. Actually, it's been like a year and a half.
I love it because it's got its own genre that I've never heard of before. So,
romantic thriller, I think it was.
Paranormal women's fiction.
I love it.
Like that. That sounds like it's made up, but you know what? I'm gonna go with it because
cozy horror was made up too, and we just did one about that. So
exactly.
Let's go with it.
I will take it. So before we dive in, spoilers. We will talk about the entire book. So if you have not read it, please push pause and go read it and come back for the discussion.
Yes, and while there is no actual smut in this book, we will still be talking about smut because there's a lot of heat in this book, and we talk about that.
Yes, we also swear like sailors. So if you do not like cursing, this is probably not the podcast for you.
No, go away.
We are intoxicated. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Okay. First off, let's talk about what we are
drinking.
We tried to drink.
Yeah.
And then what we are actually drinking.
Yeah, that is fair. What did we try to drink that was not a success?
So Daniella found a drink that was not good.
It was not good. We have tried a lot of drinks on this podcast, and they have been, for the most part, hits, right? This was a miss. This was a miss, for sure.
So, this one had champagne and whiskey. It had whiskey in it because Return to Hoodoo they drink whiskey because it's Texas. And it had champagne, whiskey, and cranberry juice.
Yeah.
And it was atrocious. I could not drink it. I threw it into the sink.
It was a Texas...
Oh, God. I
can't remember.
I closed all my tabs because my computer was too slow.
Yeah, same. But yeah, so don't drink that.
Don't drink it. I don't recommend it. I threw it away. So I am just drinking the champagne.
Yeah, and I have wine because I use sparkling wine instead of champagne because I am not a rich bitch. So.
Well, and to be fair, I'm not either, but this particular champagne is, what does the label say?
It's almond.
Almond-flavored sparkling wine. And I got it from Trader Joe's because I am a white-ass bitch.
Listen, and no one can diss the $2 chuck, right? Like,
oh my God, it was $7 from Trader Joe's, and it's fucking delicious.
Trader Joe's has saved me so many times when it comes to alcohol. So Return to Hoodoo, set in Texas.
So it is a story of Reggi Dupree, who is
not
perimenopausal.
Not Reggi Dupree.
It's not.
That's the author.
That's the author. Sorry, we're intoxicated. It is the story of Gwendolyn, who returns to Hoodoo, who is just her childhood home.
Yes. And what I loved about this book was it is paranormal women's fiction, apparently, but it's urban fantasy.
It is urban fantasy.
It's urban fantasy, but it's urban fantasy that's not like the supernaturals need to be hidden and it's this big secret, which is usually a huge trope in urban fantasy. This is everybody is who everybody is, and there's no judgment, there's no fear. It's just everybody is out there living their lives.
You know what? I think my book might be this genre.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I think I need to switch my genre.
I think you're right.
I think I owe Reggi Dupree a call.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you
for creating this genre. I think you're right. Actually, that's
because
awesome.
Everyone's out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Reggi Dupree, thank you. You're a genius.
I did love that the FMC is a 40-ish-year-old woman.
Perimenopausal. She gives no shits about anybody. Yes.
Love it. Love that. Love it. You don't see that very often, so I was very much a fan.
Yes.
I love, too, that it felt realistic with the 40-year-old woman being just noticing how hot all the guys are all the time.
I don't know how many of our audience is actually in their 40s, but something happens to your hormones.
It's weird.
You hit your 40s, and all of a sudden you become a raging sex monster,
It's
and I don't know
strange.
what it is. And
I didn't even feel this way when I was in my 20s.
No, not at all. And my husband is very thankful for this, actually, at this point in our life. And it's like, all of a sudden, you do notice really hot guys. It doesn't matter, you'd all of a sudden be walking down the street and be like, oh, look at that guy.
Yeah, it's strange. So that felt very realistic.
Absolutely.
Which I very much appreciated. I also loved that that she literally had a line like, I see dead people, which was amazing. Thank you. Pop culture quotes. Chef's kiss.
The dialogue alone in this book was amazing.
Loved it. It felt very realistic.
Everyone talked.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yes, absolutely agree.
And it felt very Texas, actually.
It did. It really did. Yeah. I thought that was great.
And I just haven't been to Texas. I'm not saying this because I just assume this is how Texas talks.
No, we have definitely traveled through Texas.
I've been to Texas multiple times.
Multiple times.
This was Texas.
Yes.
I do find it interesting that this took place in Texas. But at the same time, it makes a lot of sense that it took place in Texas.
When I was first reading it, I was kind of like, that's so interesting that you would set it there. And then by about halfway through, I was like, no, that makes sense. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely makes complete fucking sense that this takes place in Texas. Just because this is like a cultural melting pot.
Absolutely.
Of so many different magics and like cultures and everything happened in Texas.
For sure.
It was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Let's talk about the characters a little bit.
Okay. I will say that this book did a really good job at the character building and like the different characters.
I absolutely agree.
Okay, I want to start with Ash.
Do you know what my notes say about Ash?
What do they say about Ash?
They say mysterious, sexy man.
Seriously. Like, he, like, appears as, like, the first time you hear about Ash, he's just this mysterious billionaire who, like, saves her.
Yes. And that's all you know. That is all you know. And you know that he is super hot and super sexy, and that is it.
That's literally it. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It cracks me up. You know that he saves her. You know that he is really attractive.
Yes, he's European in some way.
European.
Yeah.
And he's really rich.
Yep. That's it. That's all you know, which is why my notes say mysterious, sexy man. And then when he comes to town, that scene where they're in the grocery store and all the women are just like, excuse me.
Oh my God.
Who is this
Every
man?
Woman is checking this man out.
So good. Until someone's head explodes. But, you know, we can't have everything.
That was super disturbing.
It was so disturbing. I was like, just, you know, vibing. I was just reading and vibing along, and then someone's head exploded, and I was like, shit.
Not just exploded, bugs came out of it, and then it exploded.
Listen, I purposely blocked that part out because it disturbed me so much.
I'm like, I was kind of doing the same thing. I'm like, hot, sexy guy, we're going grocery shopping, this is great.
They're making out in the aisle with a canned good aisle, great.
My God, where is my hot, sexy billionaire guy making out with me in the fucking grocery aisle?
Thank you, yes.
I would like this, and then, no, bugs, why are there bugs?
Yeah. Also, she's like making a new friend. She's like making a new friend with the cashier, and then this woman comes in and she's bugs, and I'm just like, oh my God.
It just all of a sudden we're in a horror novel. It was like, what is happening?
It was very upsetting.
And then she's arrested.
Yeah. Yes, let's talk about Carlos for a moment.
Let's talk about the fact that all the cops are shifters.
Yes, I did not enjoy that. I didn't enjoy that. Just because it felt cliquey.
Yeah.
And not good.
No. It felt really gross.
Really gross. Yeah, I didn't enjoy that. I also did not enjoy that Carlos, her once love, immediately believed that she was capable of murder.
I didn't like that everyone in the town basically thought that she was capable of murder.
I also did not enjoy that.
But I will say that I feel like she might be an unreliable narrator.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Anytime I see a book written in first person, I assume that the narrator is unreliable.
Completely unreliable. So I think in this case, Carlos is, like, completely unreliable. Or, like, completely, like, judgy.
Oh, yeah,
but
for sure.
I also think that Gwendolyn's bringing plenty of her own opinion into this.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that, for sure.
And we don't know for sure how much of the town actually thinks that she is a murderer.
Yes, she might be projecting a little bit.
A little bit.
I will say, though, as the book progressed, I was getting increasingly frustrated with her for not listening to Duncan.
I just wanted her to sit down and be like, let's have a conversation, Duncan.
Like, he has said multiple times, I need to talk to you, I have important information for you, and she blows him off. And I just don't understand why. I mean,
I get that she's angry,
exactly.
But it's been 20 years?
Right. And, like, there's a ghost telling you, you're in danger, girl, just like in Ghost.
I know.
And she's just saying...
Which she even mentions.
I know! That's what I'm saying. Like, she
even mentions
recognizes...
that she's, like, she even mentions ghosts.
I was getting frustrated with that. I had a problem with that for sure. But if she had listened to him, I feel like it would have been a much shorter book.
That's true.
So I do understand why, but I also think it was incredibly frustrating and not entirely realistic.
I get that. I get that a lot. Yeah, I do. I feel like actually there were some pacing issues actually with that.
Yes, I agree for sure.
There were some pacing issues with that and with Ash's reveal.
Yes.
Actually with a lot of the lore itself.
Yeah. It was odd.
Look, I am a whore for lore. I will eat up all of the lore you want to fucking give me. I am a fantasy bitch. Give me all of it.
Absolutely.
I will eat up magic. I will eat up lore. I will eat it all.
I will never complain. Give me all the lore. Yeah. I
don't care how long your book is.
Mm-hmm. I will read it.
If you feel it's too long, it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. I will read it because I want all of that information.
Yeah, and then like there were some parts in this that felt kind of abrupt, and then there were some parts that felt oddly drawn out, and
I felt like there were parts that she maybe had a plan for that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Or that she had maybe, I don't know, it just seemed like there were things that maybe happened maybe later, or
maybe they happened in the second book, which I haven't read yet.
I don't know.
Because she sends her ghostly maid off to, like, spy.
And I'm like, oh, what did she learn? And then we never learned anything.
And then she just disappears for the rest of the book. Like, literally, she doesn't come back the rest of the book.
I know. I was so sad.
And I was disappointed. Yeah. So that was kind of like a loose thread that never really got wrapped up, which was disappointing.
Maybe she does come back in book 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But also, the scary basement that she opened with her blood. I want to know what's down there.
And I want to know what's in the portal in the library.
That is the scary basement.
Yeah, see? I want to know what's in there.
That's exactly. And, like, maybe I assume that's in the second book. And I don't really blame her for not going down there right away. Like,
dude,
that would be terrifying.
Even I'm not that white.
Exactly. Like, even
I am not that white.
Don't go down there.
Even I'm like, nope. Sorry.
Don't go down there.
That just used my blood to open up. I am not going in there right now. Thank you.
Agreed. Yeah.
That will be nope. So yeah, even I'm not that white. So I do not blame her for that. But still, how cool is it she has a fucking magic house?
Yeah, I loved that house. I feel like that's the dream house, right?
That's the dream house.
You have a house full of ghost servants? I'm like, oh my god. Listen, I would probably jump every time because I am easily startled.
Oh my
so
god.
I might have a heart attack and die early, but it would be worth it, I feel like.
We just hear you yelling every day. Don't worry about it, it's just Daniella. She's getting her bath drawn.
Exactly. It's so true.
Oh my god.
Oh, she's just brushing her teeth. She got startled. She's fine.
They brought her
too real.
Every time.
Every time.
But we never got to meet Cook.
I know, we never got to meet Cook, and I was disappointed because they set that up so well that I was so excited to finally meet the cook, whoever it was.
We did get to see Ash cooking pancakes, though. So I mean,
half naked cooking pancakes. That's not a bad way to start the day.
It's true. So I feel like if Reggie would just do a rewrite and sell a special edition or a new edition, she could really sell a lot.
I absolutely agree. I would
buy one.
I would be
and put
the
it
first
on my,
in line probably to read the new version, because there were so many things that were set up that were not paid off.
I agree.
That I think could hit so well.
Mm-hmm.
I also like at the end when the sheriff like shows up where everybody is and they just know where it is and they just like happen to be there, and I'm like,
and all of a sudden Carlos is like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, fuck you.
And like, how did you know that they would be at the crossroads?
Why are you all
like,
buddy now? I don't like you.
Yeah, it just felt
Although
odd.
I will say, her trying to talk around her new teeth and that whole thing was hilarious.
I loved that scene so much. She's got those giant wings and she's like 8 feet tall or whatever, and I'm just like,
and she's like trying to figure out like, why am I looking down?
That was so funny. I loved that so much. Yeah, I thought that was amazing. That was great. I really did enjoy that. I was surprised by the final scene where she has that flashback. I did not it wasn't a surprise what was revealed, but I was surprised to see it in this book. I thought it would be in the next book.
Like maybe the opening scene for the second book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was surprising. And
I do think it worked well in this book, though.
100% I agree.
Because it makes you want to go, what?
And it makes you want to read the next one. Absolutely agree. Yeah,
so I do think it works really well.
For sure. But it was a surprise. It was a twist that I was not expecting. What did we feel about Mary? I felt like she was a little bit, I don't want to say cliche.
No,
but like, yeah.
But,
like,
I mean,
I liked her as the villain, but I also knew she was the villain pretty early on. And it was frustrating that Gwen didn't.
The thing is, though, is Gwen brought a lot of her own prejudices.
That is absolutely true.
To Hoodoo.
Yes, that is definitely true.
So I think that played well.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fair point. I didn't really think about that. That's a fair point.
And Mary wasn't part of that. And so I think that without those prejudices, without that baggage, that Gwendolyn would have figured this out way earlier.
She would have seen a lot more clearly. Yeah. That makes sense.
But she had a lot of her own baggage. Because she knew it had to have been a witch. She saw all these ghosts with all of their lips sewn shut. She knew. She could see the pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
She's not stupid.
No, not at all. That's what I liked about her.
Yeah. I mean, she's not dumb. But she just was blinded by her own prejudices and her own baggage.
Yeah, she was projecting a lot of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so she's thinking it had to have been so-and-so. It had to have been this person. It had to be someone who already hated me.
Yeah, she was seeing what she expected to see rather than what was actually there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that made us think that was true, too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
And I do like, though, the way that the witches were prettier.
I know.
When they were evil.
So, when they summon Ograt at the crossroads, I found her to be super hot and terrifying.
I think she was a perfect demon queen.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
And I think she wasn't what they were expecting.
No, that means that it wasn't what I was expecting either, which landed so perfectly. Like, I didn't know. So, I figured out Mary was the bad person. Fine. But I did not know who the big bad was, right? And so when they summoned Ograt, I was just like, oh my.
Yeah.
And then the fact that she's kind of like interested in Gwen. It's like, I find you interesting. What are you gonna do now? I found that really intriguing too.
And I think that it wasn't like, she's like, okay, I need a sacrifice. And it wasn't like instantaneously, okay, I'm gonna kill you now. It was like, oh wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Ash? My Ash?
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. No, and then she really looks at her and she's like, wait, I find you interesting. What are you gonna do here? Like, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to make your move first. I want to see what happens. And I thought that was really smart and cool. Like, I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah. It was really, really interesting. And I think that the witches were like, what is happening?
Oh, for sure.
And then they're realizing maybe demons are not the best people to be making bargains with.
Right? Like, you can't count on them. What are you doing? They are not your friends. Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay. But I may be completely out of pocket here.
Okay.
But we have the story of 3 sisters in Hoodoo. One is a vampire, one became a witch, and one decided to say, fuck everything, I'm just gonna stay human.
Yeah.
Does anyone else besides me see a parallel between the 3 brothers of the Christian Bible who, like, one became this, one became that, and one said, fuck everything, I'm gonna do my own thing?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that we were raised in the same household with the same upbringing, but I definitely noticed that. I thought that was
a parallel.
I thought that was quite interesting myself.
My brain just kind of went, what?
Yeah, I did the same thing, and I expected in the next book it'll be addressed.
There has to be more lore. I mean, there has to be. I was craving more lore in this book.
and I kept thinking, because of what opened in the basement with her blood, I was like, is that where she's going to find out more about her heritage, maybe? Like, in the basement of the house? Which would make sense to me.
She's staring at this triptych on the wall. I mean, there's gotta be more. I'm dying for more lore.
Yeah, so I feel like I have to read the next book just so I can answer those questions, because I was thinking the same thing. Where the parallels were just too parallel. I was like, what's going on here?
And, like, Ash could not have been the one who killed her mom.
No, there's got to be more information.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else that happened. Like, someone was attempting it, and he was protecting them, and then there was an accident. Like, I just cannot believe that he was the one that was wholly responsible.
There's no way he can expect her to love him if he killed her mom. There's just no way. Even if he is a demon.
You don't come back from that.
No. And he knows that.
Yeah.
So, there's gotta be more to that story.
I was laughing a little bit because as I was reading this, I knew that he was a demon, but, like, part of me was like, what if he's a dragon?
I don't know, the story is so wild, it could have been anything.
I was like, what if this just takes a huge left turn and just, like, does something so crazy?
The thing is the story could have. That's the thing about this book, is at any point it could have.
Right.
Kyle showed up.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're like, what?
And is a god?
God?
Like, unexpected. I expected Kyle to be something.
Something.
But I did not think that Kyle would be a god.
Just surprise.
Yeah. Loved that. That was an excellent detail. I kind of wish that we got to see a little bit more action from Kyle. Like, didn't really get to see any godlike anything.
Both Ash and Kyle missed all of the action at the end.
All the time. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like they were kind of just like forgotten about sometimes. Like,
it's like, oh yeah, these guys are in there.
Yeah, it's just like, which I don't mind because she gets to save herself, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
But also, I like the big baddies that fight and protect. Like, that
I mean, you can have them in there.
Yeah. Let them have their moment. So,
I mean, he can stand there and be like, she can take care of herself. She doesn't need me to take care of her.
And he can just be there and look pretty. What's wrong with that?
Not a damn thing. He can look pretty all he wants. I can
all
look at
he
him.
wants. You know, that's his prerogative.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I like, from reading this book, do you understand what happened fully with Duncan and the murder she was accused of?
No.
Me neither.
I do know that he was possessed by an evil being.
Yes.
I do know that he took his own life, I think. But even that was kind of questionable.
And then he had his journals that he had written questionable things about Gwen in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that the next books have to be, like, addressing more of this. Because even that was like...
Yeah, it never really got... Like, not a lot really got wrapped up.
Like, we need to learn about her mom's journals.
Yes.
We need to know about Duncan's journals.
Yep.
There's a lot of lore and more information. I mean, that is my biggest critique about this book, is that I needed more information.
There were too many missing pieces.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it makes me want to read more of the books. I'm just like, okay, more please.
No, I absolutely agree. So I will probably read the next one just because I want to get all the answers. I like having it all. I know. I like having all the answers with a nice little bow.
I know. Me too.
But yeah.
Even the vampires were interesting, and you don't even like vampires.
I know. I thought it was an interesting take on vampires. I thought that having her be raised in that house was an interesting choice. We don't really get the full idea of what that was like for her. We get little bits and pieces here and there.
I feel like it was a really good introduction to a urban fantasy world. And that's what it was. It was an introduction to a world. And it was a start to a series.
And now you have to read the rest to really get the full picture. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I feel like it's a start of a lot of urban fantasy series. If you look at any of the urban fantasy series that we've read, that's what book one is.
Absolutely. You have to set up a lot of information.
Oh, God, yeah.
Before you can really get into the full plot. Like, that's just the way that it works. So.
Yep. I mean, if you look at Ilona Andrews, it's the same thing. A lot of people are like, Magic Bites, if you look at that one, everyone's like, oh, it's okay. Because a lot of, like, info dumping.
I mean, Shayna Maguire with her October Day series, like, that is the same thing. Like, just setting up all of that.
You have so much information you have to give.
Absolutely.
So I think it's very similar to a lot of urban fantasy.
Yes, and this one, it poses enough questions that it doesn't answer that it makes you want to read more to figure it out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would recommend it. I do think that there is an opportunity to tie up some loose ends that...
The ghost thing was a little weird.
The ghost thing was weird.
One. Either take that out or add the solution.
Because I was really looking forward to her, like, ghostly spying, and then she just vanished.
Like that might be the key to how Carlos ends up at the end.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I don't know, because we never figure out what happens.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That would be cool, though, wouldn't it?
That would be.
Like, they get some kind of ghostly message where it's like, go to the crossroads!
Oh,
I don't know if that's what happened, but that would be cool. I would be down for that.
I was just like so annoyed at him because like we knew it couldn't be you because you couldn't do the spell. I'm like, then why are you arresting her? God damn it!
Right? They just keep arresting her. Like they arrest her so many times. Like, my dude,
why are you so mean?
Can't you arrest someone else for once? Like, what are you doing?
Why are you like this?
Right?
Knock it off.
Yeah, I wanted to shake him a little bit. Also, the jealousy thing between him and Ash, like, being manly and, like, trying to, like, out-man each other all the time. And
walk away. I just want to turn around and just, like, walk away.
I can't with you guys right now. Like, it's too much. There's too much testosterone happening.
I think Gwendolyn does at some point.
She does.
Whatever.
Like, I can't.
I just can't even with either of you.
And that's a fair response. Like, that is how I felt too, so.
god.
That said, though, the heat between her and Ash was
Whoosh.
very
You
good.
and your slow burns, you must have enjoyed the fuck out of this.
When they made out in the canned goods section of the supermarket, I was like, damn!
Even
This
I
is
was
amazing.
like,
yeah. And all the women are looking at him and they're just like, oh, who is this man? I'm like, yeah, that's right.
So apparently there is a novella, and the narrator for the audiobook stories is a friend of mine. And she's like, you will really like the novella. And now I'm like, why?
Have to read it.
Why
I didn't even know there was a novella.
It's like a prequel to this story.
Oh, so we probably find out what happens in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I assume.
And I'm like, why will I like it?
I assume it's not a slow burn.
What? Why?
No, but they can't have sex because they talk about how they have it.
But now reading this, I'm like going, but they can't have fucking sex.
Yeah, that would piss you off.
You teasing me?
Exactly.
Fucking tease?
That sounds more my speed than yours.
This whole series sounds like your fucking speed.
This was your pick, man.
I know. I don't regret, but at the same time, I'm like, God damn it.
I know. But, yeah, I don't regret reading it for sure. It was interesting.
I love a good urban fantasy.
Yeah, it was different. And it was nice. It was kind of nice to get back to, like, a true urban fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really enjoyed. So.
Oh, no, I love urban fantasy.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
Yeah,
I
thought it was really fun. Yeah, I liked it.
Her sneaking through the secret tunnels. Spying on people. And Ash being like, I know you're there.
I know you're there and listening. I'm saying this now for your benefit while I'm on the phone. Like,
I'm not stupid. I know you're there. That whole thing was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
Oh my god.
There were some really funny moments in this book that made me laugh out loud.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh my god.
For sure. Even the opening where she goes into the bar the very first thing and this woman is just like trying to pick a fight with her and she's like, I don't have time for you. Like, go away. I don't care.
I know. And the thing is, I'm trying to imagine going in my hometown, walking into a bar, and having someone I haven't seen in 20 years come up to me and try to pick a fight. And I'm going, that's exactly how I would react.
Exactly. No.
Why are you here?
It felt so real. It was just like, why? Why are we doing? Please go away. I don't care about you at all.
The dialogue in this was perfect. I mean, it was just perfect.
Yes, absolutely agree. That was so good. Oh my god.
It was
so good.
Oh, I love it so much.
And her obsession with her boots.
Oh god.
She's obsessed with her boots. Like, every time she loses them, where are my boots?
The thing is, it's a well broken in pair of boots.
So hard to find. Impossible. Impossible to replace.
They fit perfectly.
Yep.
And they don't rub. They don't give you blisters.
Yep.
People who don't know don't understand.
No, it's true. It is true.
Look, I sound like I live in California.
Listen, we have met many interesting people in our lives.
And I've lived and visited many places.
Interesting places.
A good pair of well-worn boots is worth its weight in gold.
It's so true, though, because it takes so long to break them in.
It really does.
And then you finally do, and they are like heaven. You slip them on, and you're just like, this is perfection.
Matter what they look like.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if they're ugly.
No, absolutely not.
Your feet.
Absolutely agree. So
perfectly.
I understood her obsession.
Carlos can get bent.
Exactly. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. God. Carlos can get bent for multiple reasons.
So many reasons. What an ass.
God.
Yeah.
And his deputy or whatever.
His freaking deputy, who I didn't even write his name down because he pissed me off so much.
Seriously.
Like, what the fuck? Go away.
Ugh.
No one cares.
Mm-mm.
No.
I was concerned at how little sleep she got, actually, though. Like, she was awake a lot.
I did have that thought, but then I remembered that I also wake up for hours in the middle of the night.
That did occur to me, and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't sleep enough.
That's what I thought, too. I was like, Jesus, I need more sleep.
Look, perimenopause is hard, okay?
It's so
nice to people over 40 who are women. Okay?
Yes, we are not sleeping enough.
If you have, like, a uterus, be nice to them.
Yes. Even if you don't have a uterus, be nice to them. Like, first of all, we don't have a lot of patience for most things anymore. But also, we are not sleeping enough, and it makes us short-tempered. So, we are a little bit irritable, and maybe don't make sense all the time.
And our moods are everywhere.
Everywhere. Oh my god.
Everywhere.
I cried at a commercial the other day. An ad that I saw on a streaming service that wasn't even an emotional thing. And I started crying. And I was crying and thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You don't cry at anything.
It was so stupid. It was so stupid. I was embarrassed. I was by myself and I was embarrassed. That's how bad it was.
So see, we feel seen by this book.
Yes.
So thank you, Miss Dupree. We appreciate you.
Nailed it.
Yes.
For sure. Yes.
Because we also are up at 3 a.m.
Yep.
For no damn reason.
Every freaking morning. That's when I read most of this book.
We're up at 3 a.m. and we're horny all the time.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Nailed it. Yep. Have no patience for people. People start getting in your business and you're like, why are you in my business?
No fucks left to give.
No
whatsoever.
fucks left to give at all. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
No, I would recommend this book to people. 100%. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was a really unique take on the whole thing. I
liked it. It was different.
Yeah.
For sure. It was refreshing to read something that was so different from a lot of the books that I've read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, props.
Yeah.
Yeah. Props.
Another
Props to you,
reason-
Reggi Dupree.
Another reason to read diversely. Get out of your comfort zone.
Also, can I just say that Reggi Dupree is the best author name
Oh
ever?
my god.
Like, that is such a perfect author name.
I love it.
I love it. I think it's so good. It just rolls off the tongue.
Reggi Dupree.
Reggi Dupree.
It's perfect.
Ah, love it. Makes me
Yeah.
think of, Weeping Willows and, I don't know. I love it.
No, it works perfectly for this series.
Oh, for sure. You could not pick a better name for this series. It's so good.
I know.
Ah, so good. Also, Return to Hoodoo is a great name for a book.
Oh my god, the town's name is Hoodoo.
I know.
I'm like, what?
I cannot with this. Yeah, so good.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Everything.
Everything.
I loved
Yep.
it. Oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So, what are we reading next?
So we're going from Return to Hoodoo, and we're going from Texas, hot humidity, still pretty wealthy, but fairly low
Middle
class
class.
seeming,
Yeah.
to billionaires in New York. And we're reading King of Wrath by Anna Huang.
Oh boy. It's gonna be a different experience than this book was for sure.
I love an arranged marriage. It's one of my favorite tropes ever. So I'm very excited.
Really? That's one of your favorite tropes?
I love a forced proximity, arranged marriage thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Love
fair. That's fair. I do like a forced proximity.
And that's what an arranged marriage is, essentially.
Yeah,
is a
that's
forced
true.
proximity.
That's true. I never really thought about it because I don't read as much romance as you, but
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
Well, join us next time for King of Wrath, and I am Daniella Drake.
And I'm Evelyne Crow.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Intoxicated Literature. Drink well, friends.